Hello, this is Debra Cohen of Debra Cohen Music and As Life Happens, the merch store, which a lot of musicians are having to do to make a living. And I am a musician and a certified hula hoop instructor for older adults as well as beginner yoga. But today we're going to talk about depression because there are truly a lot of adults struggling with depression this time of year, especially in light of the empty chair at the meal table. Somebody that used to be there but was taken by COVID. So let's talk about depression right after we come back from this message.
Get together, your hush money. Make your markets the roaring 20s.
Feedback. Okay, not the musician's friend. And again, this is Debra Cohen. I'm glad you're here. I am happy to be trying out new technology, for me at least, using Ecamm Live, and they have been most gracious and welcoming new people like me that started out at the beginning of December 2021 clueless and still working on it. I thought that I could open up, for example, I need scrolling lyrics as a musician, and I thought that I could download the Music's Match app to my iMac desktop and that it would just scroll away on my desktop where I could screen share, but it doesn't scroll away. I don't know why, but I'm having to use the iPhone and transfer it to this scene as a video. So that's what we'll do today. There will be some singing, so hold on to your seatbelt, and we'll be singing shortly. But I would like to just say that once upon a time, I had a cushy job up in Maine on an island. It was a dream job. This was in the 90s. And after doing the dream job for 3 years, I started drinking too much because it wasn't the job that I thought it was in my mind. I'm a musician and just wanted to make a living writing and singing music, and it didn't happen because I made a lot of mistakes. So I tried the day gig. Just didn't feel like me. Why am I here? And I went through my own kind of depression. And quit this job. It was quite a struggle because it took me many years to get it. And I moved to Nashville in 94 and got into a blues band and started really singing some sorrowful songs because I was a sorry mess. Thought I was happy singing the blues, but I sung myself right into the depression. And anyway, there are people out there that are even doing what they thought would make them happy, and when they get it or do it, it doesn't bring inner peace. It brings depression. And I had mentioned that a book that I was reading. Let's see, what is the name of that book so I can get you the right information. The name of the book is where is it? The name of my iPhone is filled to max. So it's called The Awakened Brain by Lisa Miller. And she writes as a scientist saying that everybody has a reserved portion of their brain that can only be filled with our Creator. Whether or not you believe that, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just saying, if you try to fill that void with anything else except the Creator, you go into a deep funk. So I recommend this book if you're at all curious. scientifically speaking, about the anatomy of the brain. And so if you are depressed, as I once was, even though I thought my job would make me happy, even though I thought my band would make me happy, even though my boyfriend I thought would make me happy. Oh, and somebody's giving me a heart. So I'm going to just say, thank you for listening. Yay! I don't know who you are, but I really appreciate it. I mean, it's great to make these when nobody's listening, but if you are listening, that's great. So anyway, I went to the doctors in 94 for what I thought was clinical depression, and I tested negative for. So that just tells you there's different kinds of depression. It's not one size fits all. Patty Duke was a celebrity when I was growing up, and she was a celebrity star. And the public found out that Patty Duke had horrible depression, even though she was such a bubbly woman on TV. And she had to take lithium for depression. Miss Kay, I'm so glad you're here. You are so sweet. I'm so glad you're listening. And I just love it when people show up. That's great. I mean, because I'm just doing these at random during the month of December. So you never know when I'm going to pop in. But I will have a schedule of shows. And why don't we take a look at them so you can take notes if there's any of these shows that might interest you. And I'll be right back. Hey, this is Debra Cohen, and I hope that you will join me on my new live streaming shows in the year 2022. I'll have 3 different shows with 3 different themes for holy, hippie, and hoop. The holy show, which is praise and worship music from the sitter, is on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Then on Thursdays, there's the hippie hoop. At 1 p.m. Eastern Time Thursdays is the Hula Hoop Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then that same day, Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the Hippie Show, including oldies and Debra's music, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on TikTok and Instagram. So take your pick. Hopefully you'll join Debra in 2022. See you there. Okay, so again, thank you, Miss Kay, for listening, and anybody else that pops in. And we're talking about depression. It's a very sensitive subject. And according to the author, Lisa Miller, she says that we suffer depression when we don't have a relationship with our Creator. Just food for thought. I mean, I am a senior citizen, and we're supposed to get wiser as we get older. So there must be something that I've learned along the way that could be a help to somebody else. Lord knows when I was in my 20s, I did not have a good upbringing. My father left me when I was 12. My mother did the best she could, but I didn't learn very many moral good lessons from my mother. So I had to learn, they say the school of hard knocks. I learned everything the hard way, and I'm still learning, but I'm just sharing because I really struggled thinking that my job would make me happy. My mother always said to us when we were growing up as girls, she was a single mom, she said, you can always learn to love a man with money. And so that was like, I was brainwashed into believing that. So what did I do? I married a man with money, and I still wasn't happy. I mean, I remember in this gorgeous home on 19 acres of land on a mountaintop overlooking a lake, and I was alone in the house. I had everything going for me. And this song by Foreigner came on the radio, I Want to Know What Love Is. And I just started singing these words and crumpled up in a ball of tears, crying, not knowing what was wrong with me, because how could I be unhappy? My mother said I would be happy if I married a man with money, but I wasn't. Yeah, and granted, it's not great being married to a man who doesn't have money either. I've known that road too. It's not fun. But what is the answer for depression? Well, there is more than one cure for depression. As I mentioned, lithium. And if it's not pen and paper clinical, you have to go to a counselor and talk about your problems. But the interesting thing again about Dr. Miller is she says most counselors, when they get you on the couch, so to speak, they start rehearsing everything from your childhood. And that's not necessarily the most holistic approach to dealing with depression. Actually, it's talking about your spirituality that matters. And I'm bringing this up this time of year because it's the season to be jolly, and we're supposedly joy to the world. The Lord is come. This is a God holiday for some of us, and there are people out there that are unhappy. And I just want to let you know you're not alone, that it is a struggle to come out of depression, but I just want to tell you that it's possible because I did. I had it bad. And maybe you're listening and you've got it bad. So I'm going to share with you this song that I wrote in the middle of my own depression when I was in a band in Nashville. Had everything going for me. And but I didn't have a relationship with God. I did not know that you could. I had religion. I knew how to behave in church or wherever I was going at the time. I dabbled in a lot of different religions, and I knew how to say the prayers, but it's not religion. It's relationship. Actually, God wants us to partner with him on this earth and work with him. And maybe you're just guffawing at me and saying, what a bunch of BS that is. But I'm just sharing my story. And, maybe you've got your own way to be at peace within. But I'm just telling you what works for me. And maybe it'll kind of get you to be thinking. Maybe you might be thinking, I'll get that book by Dr. Miller and see maybe if I can find an answer to what's going on in my own head. So I'm going to do this sing-along, and this is a song I wrote in the middle of my funk. It's called Find Your Power in Love. And so the God I'm talking about is a God of love. And his love is what makes us whole. And let me find the scene. Thank you so much for the hearts. I love this. All right, so this is my song. This is me singing, and I'm going to sing along with me. And just imagine, I was in this gorgeous home, and like I mentioned, and I remembered it was so profound for me to start crying while I was living in this amazing home, amazing view, somewhat amazing spouse, but not exactly. But had all the money I wanted, and wasn't happy. This is the song I wrote, and you'll be able to tell by the lyrics who I was looking for. So let's see if we can get this thing rolling here. And you can sing along with me.
How many times have you cried out loud, feeling alone, standing in a crowd? Or you walk to a door, hoping that someone is there, looking round at the threshold for love, but feeling despair. Footsteps are heavy, standing at the door. Think to yourself, I can't take much more of this hurt and this anger that's hovering deep inside. I'm looking for love, but I can't see through tears in my eyes. need a friend, he's there. He'll come when you call, he cares. He's there to help you find your power in love. He'll give you strength to rise above. Words of despair clouding up your mind, looking for answers you can't seem to find. So you run from yourself, but you can't find a place to hide. And the emptiness fills you with anger and foolish pride. Finding your way, walking through that door, trusting in someone you haven't seen before. So you open your arms and you ask him to take you in, letting go of the burden so heavily laden and sin. Find your power in love. Give the Lord thanksgiving. Find your power in love. Peace is his way of living. And if you need a friend, he's there. He'll come when you call, he cares. He's there to help you find your power in love. He'll give you strength to rise above. He is your rock and your true love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for listening. And that is a song that I wrote. It's on my album, Faith. And you can find that Faith CD on Spotify or wherever you stream music. Look for Debra Cohen. And thank you, Miss K Hoops. You're so cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to tell her thank you so much for listening today. Thank you. Yay! Okay, so very good. This was my test today, and every day through the month of December, I will be doing a daily broadcast and trying to get all the kinks worked out so that when the real show, so to speak, starts next year, I'll be somewhat ready. So thanks again to Ecamm Live for making this possible. And thank you, Miss K Hoops, and anybody that's listening. I'd like to share with you an advertisement I made for one of my t-shirts. And because as a musician, we have to come up with creative ways to generate income. And these shirts are only available in the United States right now because this is a new merch store. And I'm still trying to figure out how to use Shopify among with everything else I'm doing. So have a look. So thank you again for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening, depending on what it is, where you are. And may God bless you richly. Thank you so much.
Unique t-shirts mailed to your doorstep. Happy holidays
from As Life Happens on Shopify.